Yes.
Welcome back. A very short video about 2 minutes video about CEIR.
Center for Educational Initiatives and Research, CEIR Global Trust, has established a common platform for educators, students, principals, parents, and management so as to improve the overall school culture in India and abroad. Since its inception from 2009, CEIR has conducted many and extraordinary programs for the target groups right from K1 to K12. All CEIR programs are powered by Veda Handwriting Lab. Veda offers multiple programs for students and teachers. These programs are backed by scientific research. At Veda Handwriting Lab, we say good or bad handwriting is an existing myth. There is only trained or untrained handwriting. To make it possible, Veda Handwriting Lab has developed a training device called Molecule Memory Board for faster and long-lasting results among students and teachers. Handwriting Elite Kit and Life Kit are the flagship programs for Veda Handwriting Lab, accessible through our website www.vedahandwritingkit.com. Now also available on Amazon. We believe that we will be a force to reckon with the near future. We believe that the best is yet to be. The ultimate aim of the CEIR is to create a CEIR Center of Excellence by 2030, a perfect away from home to home its members when they grow.
So now I invite Dr. K.K. Shahjahan to proceed the program. He is a mentor of today's program. Sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Sheesan. Dear CEIR GT members, speaker and the guest of the day, Mr. Dr. Sarup Datta, Dr. Sheesan, the zonal directors, premium members, and all principals and managers, other participants who are here. Our CEIR global platform, with its educational initiatives, is the one giving timely and most wanted subjects to its stakeholders continuously. As we are fully aware that hot discussion and directions are going on from the CBSE and other educators all over India regarding the present post-COVID situation and NEP-based education system. Pattern of CBSE exams changed. Changes may happen again according to the situation that we can expect any change. Children, parents, and teachers, they will have to change their attitude and approach according to the situation. Today, we have Mr. Swarup Gupta, an eminent and well-experienced faculty to give light to such subjects regarding the examination and and school system. That is Mr. Swarup Datta, that he is here with us. Now, before bringing him, that I would like to say something about today's program, that we will start and immediately after this one introduction, then up to 5:40, this session will continue, and then we will have 20 minutes at the last leg that will be used for a general discussion. Anyhow, ensure the timing, that's for everyone. Now I'm just to give an introduction about Mr. Swarup Gupta, Dr. Swarup Gupta, and that he is an eminent person. As I mentioned, Dr. Swarup Gupta is the founder of Best Careers book, is one of the most experienced and well-connected career counselor that you can find in India. A doctor, an educationalist, a life coach, a trainer of teachers and principals. Dr. Datta has been inspirational speaker and a corporate trainer since last 17 years. He has been conducting interviews and hiring employees and developing staff retention plan for the diverse organization. He was conducted interview for thousands of candidates and is very well connected person across the diverse sectors, and that makes him a career counselor par excellence. Education and industry knowledge in both the domain makes Mr. Gupta a rare gem in career counseling. Dr. Swarup has been, completed his BHMS, it means a Bachelor of Homeopathic Medicine and Surgery from the Calcutta University, and Master of Science and a bachelor's degree in education also he gained. Mr. Datta also holds certification in global career counseling from University of California, Los Angeles, and has been certified as their super counselor with the distinction. His vast professional experience and educational background makes him a numero uno choice for an educational counselor. Mr. Datta has more than 17 years of experience of hiring employees, supervising staff, securing resources, transforming organization culture, and implementing effective programs. This is a very rare storehouse of experience and in diverse fields: education, guidance and counseling, training, medicine manufacturing, product development, quality assurance, R&D information technology, ITES, advertising, marketing and business management. I cannot go ahead. And he's also a master trainer of zonal coordinator of CBSE Center of Excellence, Pune. Starting his career as a research associate, and he moved spectacularly up to the corporate ladder. However, he gave up his lucrative career in corporate sector to provide quality education, particularly in the rural parts of our country. He worked in organizations like Wipro and had been a vice president marketing in the healthcare segment. He is the recipient of the Young Scientist Award in the year 2007 by the Association for the Advancement of Homeopathic Science, Calcutta. He is an expert in Lean Six Sigma techniques, it means the quality management system, and has been implementing the Six Sigma in Lean techniques in various organizations since the last 10 years to ensure improvement in the quality and process flow. That is Dr. Gupta, or that is our Dr. Swarup Gupta. Now, we have no time to spare. With most respectfully, I request or I welcome Mr. Dr. Swarup Gupta to this session. Welcome, please.
Thank you, Dr. Shahjahan, and the members of CEIR. A small correction, my name is not Dr. Swarup Gupta, it's Dr. Swarup Datta. So as the introduction was going on, I was playing on my mind the picture of Shakespeare, what's in a name? So
Exactly.
yeah, right, no problem. So let me move ahead. Today, in fact, there was a webinar already conducted by the board, and what I thought of is I have been conducting a webinar on this assessment system of CBSE for the last 10 to 15 days in different organizations and schools. So what I thought of is today I'll be touching and covering those points which I have not touched earlier in my YouTube video or somewhere else. So I'll be going a bit fast, but in case there is some question, we can address those questions after the session is over. So let me share my screen with you.
Yes, please.
So this is all about the first term examination. Now, how happy are we that the exams are coming? And I was getting a lot of calls from all around, principals calling me with a lot of tension in their brain and asking me what exactly is happening. We are not clear about the policies of the board. How is it going to work out? So a lot of apprehensions are there in the mind of the principals, the teachers, and even the students. So that was one of the reasons I thought of creating this presentation so that we can address the problems that these schools and principals and students are facing. But is there something very, very important to be happy about? Yes, the first thing that is very important to be happy about is for the first time, CBSE has come up with a board examination divided into two halves, 50-50% syllabus, which de-emphasizes the weightage of one single examination. So this is probably the first step taken by CBSE in the lines of national education policy, where the emphasis on one single board examination has been decentralized. So that is, of course, a very welcome step. The second thing is the multiple choice questions, which forms the basis of every competitive exam in these days, has been adopted by the board as well. So which is one step, one futuristic step, I would say, towards developing our children for the competitive exams that they will be appearing in the later part of their life. Now, MCQs, this is where the confusion starts. Most people look at MCQ as most confusing questions instead of multiple choice questions. So it's almost like telling if the camera lenses are round, why are the pictures square? So very high amount of confusion is associated with multiple choice questions. And in our country, a very big show, Kaun Banega Crorepati, is also multiple choice question, right? So people can in fact earn crores of rupees if they are spot on in selecting the multiple choice. Now, multiple choice is nothing foreign to us. The early man had been making multiple choices as well. Selecting which animal to hunt, which fruit to eat, where to reside was also a part of multiple choice. Then not too long ago, the Swayamvar, a multiple choice as well. The bride had in front of her multiple grooms and she had to choose one from them. So that was a multiple choice as well. Now, who was the person who first started it? This was started by E.L. Thorndike, who is famous for the stimulus and response thing in the psychological domain of education. So E.L. Thorndike was the first person who designed the MCQ thing, but it was his disciple, Benjamin D. Wood, who first used the MCQ and the pencil in bubbles in evaluation of the teachers. So MCQ didn't start for the students, MCQ started for the teachers, because MCQ questions are related directly with the appraisal and the promotion of the teachers in those days. And these bubbles, as you see, were expected to be filled by pencil, are called pencil in bubbles. So if we have to name the creator of multiple choice question as an assessment, we would be definitely calling the name of Benjamin D. Wood. Now, this is the first computer developed by Christopher P. Soule, and it's a Sharp MZ80 computer, which is used for the MCQ questions. And especially, this was developed keeping in mind the students with dyslexia who couldn't spell and pronounce complex Latin names of botanical nature. For example, Ficus bengalensis or things like that. It was difficult for them. The computer was used, and this was the first computer that was used for MCQ. The first school to conduct an MCQ as a full examination St. Edward School in Romsey, England. So this was the first school in the middle of the 20th century. They conducted an entire examination in MCQ format. So probably that was the first time when a school conducted MCQ exams as a full examination, not a part of it. Now, very quickly, the components of the MCQ questions. The question is basically called a STEM. The response options are there. There is one single correct option called the key, and the others are called distractors. Now, why I'm telling this? So that people use the right terminology in addressing the different parts of the questions of MCQ. So key, distractors, response options, and the STEM. Now, CBSE has very clearly told us the different forms of MCQ that will be there: simple MCQ, complex, assertion reasoning, and case study. Very quickly, I'll show a few examples. For example, this is an example of simple MCQ. A pendulum consists of a sphere hanging from a string. What will happen to the period of the pendulum if the mass of the sphere is doubled? Now, when you do this, this is a question that has been asked on knowledge, understanding, and application. So lower order thinking skill is used in this MCQ, right? Next, this is again a simple MCQ, but a higher order thinking skill has been used. Desert, which word defines it the most? Now, if you look at the question options or the distractors, you will see that cactus, arid, oasis, and flat all looks properties of desert. Now, here is the confusion. Children need to evaluate the right answer. We need to tell them that most applicable option has to be used. Now, what do you think here is the most applicable option? Let's see among the teachers who can give the right answer. Yes, it's arid. The arid is the right option because without the place being arid, it will not be a desert. Cactus and oasis may or may not be present in a desert, but it has to be definitely arid. Now look at this. This is called a complex MCQ, where more than one correct option is the answer, like 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 4, and so on. So here the children need to be particularly careful while making the selection. Complex MCQ also involve sequencing. So please advise your children to, whenever they are studying the textbook, to draw a flow chart of the sequence of things so that they can remember it easily. So sequencing is a very important question that can come in MCQ. So especially in history and timelines, in science, the sequencing is of great value. Assertion and reasoning, where there is a statement given and a supporting reason of that. For example, appendix is a vestigial organ in the human body. Reason, it does not participate in digestion. Now we know that the statement is right. It's a vestigial organ, but not because it does not participate in digestion, but because it has no function in the human body at all. So the answer should be both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. So this is called the assertion and reasoning. Now, what about a case study? A case study has the answer hidden inside the question. For example, Erin is 12 years old. For 3 years, she has been asking her parents for a dog. Her parents have told her that they believe a dog would not be happy in an apartment, but they have given her permission to have a bird. Erin has not yet decided what kind of bird she would like to have. Now, which one is the most applicable option? I'm going a bit fast so that I'm not giving you time to think, but if you see, Erin and her parents live in an apartment is the only right option, because nowhere it has been told Erin doesn't like birds or Erin's parents like birds better than they like dogs. So here is the answer that is hidden inside the question. Reading of the question is very, very important. So we have to have some strategies. One of the strategies, of course, planning your time, which we need to suggest to our children. And the first thing about planning of the time is not follow a sequence while attempting the questions. What does it mean? Don't start from 1 to 6:45 or 45 to 1. You have to be random. Now, what is the idea of being random? I'll tell you. The attempt has to be made in 3 different stages. The first is 30 minutes of those answers which the child need not think. It's just at the tip of the tongue. He can solve it with closed eyes. So 30 minutes to be given for that. 45 minutes for those questions which will require some thinking or calculation, which will take some time for the child to answer. and the remaining 15 minutes for those questions which the child is not very sure of, or it will require more amount of time. Now, what do I mean by more amount of time? The key to solving this question paper is do not spend more than 1 minute time on a particular question. That's a very important key. If you're spending more than 1 minute on a particular question, skip it, go to the next one, keep that question for the remaining 15 minutes that I shared with you. That's the part C. Because a question that you need to work on should not eat up your time of those questions which you could have answered in quicker time, right? So that's the whole idea of dividing the question paper into 3 divisions. And this is something that is not, I have framed from my mind or my idea. It's given by this lady, Barbara Oakley, PhD, A Mind of Numbers, How to Excel at Maths and Science. So a lot of inputs have been given in this book, and I'm taking a few references from Barbara Oakley.
Okay.
Next. A few strategies include do not rush. There are some questions which will have words like always or not. So when it's which of the following is not the year of independence, it will change the entire meaning of the question. So look out for words like not and always so that you do not understand the question wrongly and give a wrong answer. So these are the very important things. Look out for the keywords which are hidden in the question, which may change the whole perspective of the question. Read all options before you choose. That should be another suggestion to the children, because you never know. You may have at the end of the question options, all of the above are correct. So what children do is, in a hurry, they see an option which can be probably correct and mark it. And then they observe all of the above is also there. Then there is no point in doing it, right? So this all of the above is very, very important. That needs to be maintained. There are certain clues that we can teach our children to follow. For example, maths clues. Put the option and check. That is the back calculation which needs to be told to the children. Do not always go in the front calculation manner. Put the answer in the question and check if it works out. So that will help the children to save some time. Look for grammar clues. For example, and dash is a source of protein. Now, and dash cannot be chicken, mutton, or fish. It has to be an egg. So it's a vowel, then and will be there, right? So certain clues like this may be present in the question, which our children need to be aware of. Then units and dimensions. Look for the correct unit. If you're asking for a volume, it has to be a cube, a centimeter cube, or meter cube or something like that. But when it's an area, it has to be in square, right? So certain dimensions can also suggest the right answer. Context-based memory. This is very important. Tell the children to understand and remember where they have heard that question from. They have a word that has been put on the question paper. If they try to go back in the flashback and go and check where did he read or who told him this word that is in the question, if he finds out or she finds out where he or she has read it, the answer will be clear in the mind as well. So context memory is very important, and that is one of the reasons we tell the children to read the textbook repeatedly. In fact, more important is, instead of going for 1 single or 2 solid revisions, go for 15 quick revisions. That will always help, because the brain has a type of memory which becomes very, very solid when number of revisions are more. So if you study 1 solid good time and then you do not revise, you are bound to forget. So context-based memory is very, very important. Studying of the textbook and remembering from where he heard that term would be really helpful. Practice, practice, and practice. Practice can make man perfect. And here we have to understand that it's a research that has shown very clearly, if there are questions that the child has never seen before going into the examination hall and looking at the question for the first time, 90% of the time, the child will not be able to answer that question. So no matter how smart the child is, it's very important that the practice is done. In this, a lot of organizations have published multiple choice questions. Different publications have come up with. In fact, the Sahodaya complexes of Maharashtra, we have designed a website called mahasahodaya.com, www.mahasahodaya.com. Children can go into that. There is a tab called examination, and in examination, they can drop down. They will have 10th and 12th, and a lot of MCQs are there. If I get some time, After the session, I'll try to show you that. So mahasavadaya.com can be told to the children, they can practice. Now there are some tricks to eliminate the wrong answer when you're making a guesswork. Ideally, children should not go for guesswork and be well prepared, but at times it is required. So instead of going for blind guesswork, the school leaders can teach the children a strategy which is well proven and used across different education sectors, that how to go for a calculated guess. So first one, of course, is the elimination option. As you have seen in Kaun Banega Crorepati, 50-50 lifeline. You delete the two wrong options. So that has to be there in the child's mind as well. If he does not know the right answer, start by deleting the ones which cannot be the answer. So that's the elimination option. Then there is a second thing called long-tailed keyword. What is that? Long-tailed keyword is simply, the answer which looks the longest. For example, in A, B, C, and D, in question number 10 and 11, you can see the one that I have shaded or surrounded with a rectangular box is the longest one. Now, how does the longest question become the right answer more often than not? Mainly because the paper setter, in order to be correct and not leaving any ambiguity, tries to use a few extra lines or words to make the sentence look very, very foolproof. And that is the reason the key often becomes longer than the other options. So long-tailed keyword is another way to guess the right answer. Third is avoid a footprint. If you're not sure about the question number 2, your question answer number 1 is B and answer number 3 is C. Answer number 2 will have a rare chance of being a B or a C. So that's called a footprint. So footprint can be avoided while making guesses. Apart from that, the golden options. If there is an option like all of the above, it's seen that 60 to 65% of the time, that is the right answer. All of the above, if it's given, it's the right answer. In the battle between true and false, true is the winner more often than not. So if it's true and false is asked, true is the right answer most of the time. The sure way of eliminating a wrong answer, avoid the north-south options. What is the north-south option? Options that are extreme. For example, if you see banyan tree, acacia tree, koala bear, bamboo tree, all are trees except the koala bear. Rule that out first. Or if it's a number, 100, 150, 200, 300, 100 and 300 are extreme values. You can safely rule those out. And 150, 200 will be more often than not the right answer. Now, these are not 100% of the times correct, but these are having quite high chances of being correct. So that's the reason if you have to guess, go with the well-proven formula. Then there are keywords in the answer keys. For example, over customization, over standardization. Now, when you see two answers bearing the same word over, you can guess any of these two are right. Or less service complaints, less product returns. Again, less has been repeated. Again, the question right answer will be any of these two. So when you have words that are being repeated in the distractors, you can safely guess any of these will be the right option. Answers with grammatical errors are very rarely correct. So if there is a grammatical error observed anywhere, children can rule that out. If it's a multiple choice question with 4 options, A, B, C, and D, it is seen that ideally everyone should have an equal weightage, right? That is 25% time of chance. 25% into 4 is 100. But it has been seen that B has a 28% chance of being correct and C has 27% times of being correct. So slightly higher than A and D. So keep that in mind. And that is the psychology of the paper setter. Unless and until the paper setter is watching this telecast or this session, he will not be careful enough to do that. He will put the right answer in either B or C, and very rarely in A and D. And if there is a question which has 5 options, more often it's going to be the E that is going to be the right one. So these are all techniques of making the right guess. Instead of going by blind your gut feeling, go for something that has been researched and well proven. So I have given a few hacks for the children in the last few minutes. To very quickly sum up the hacks: never follow a sequence, attempt in 3 steps, and how to work on that. Let me just share with you that the moment the reading time starts, the child has been given a rough paper to write down something, right? So the child can divide the question numbers over there. For example, the child can write A, B, and C on the rough paper, and A, keep writing those questions which he can answer in a flash. So for example, 3, 7, 10, 12, 15, and so on. So that will be A. Now for B, that is remaining 45 minutes where it needs a little bit of working around. So he will write, let's say 1, 2, and then so on. Follow the ones that he needs to calculate. And of course, the ones he will attempt but is not very sure can be the option number C. So what happens is when he gets that rough sheet in his hand, instead of putting a mark on the question paper, which can be non-compliance, he can look at the rough sheet and start attempting the questions from there by selecting the 2, then the 4, and so on. So most preferred option will be B or C. Another very important is children should be taught to remember the direct values. The direct values like the value of pi, the value of root 9, and square of so and so, and all the direct values. So this should be by-hearted by the children. Tell them to make them these things, their mobile wallpaper, their desktop wallpaper, paste it on the wall, a paper, paste it on the physical wall, and look at those things every day. And study smart. Practice as much as you can. New questions, I told, can rarely be solved. So it's more important to see a variety of questions than practicing one single type multiple times. Now, very quickly, we'll see what board has told about the examination. There are 2 exams, the class 12th and the 10th. 12th will be conducted with 114 subjects. 10th will be conducted with 75 subjects. And we have the major and the minor concept coming up. Major and minor is a very common concept in the US, but for the first time, we are seeing this term used in the board examination. So major are subjects offered by all schools and minor a few schools. So the timetable has been set accordingly. Duration of the examination, we all know it's going to be 90 minutes with a 20 minutes reading time. Now, reading time should be a reading time. Children should not be disturbed while asking them to fill up the attendance sheet and so on during that time, because based on the reading time, the child will plan the paper. So please do not disturb the children during the reading time. And specific timing, if it is required anything, it will be mentioned in the admit card. You need to see the admit card for specific timelines, if any, but general is 90 minutes and 20 minutes reading time. So for the PWD students, the reading time remains same, but 20 minutes per hour is the additional time a child is given. So here in this examination, 30 minutes will be given for persons with disability. Every school is asked to keep a pool of scribes ready. So those scribes should be kept ready so that, they can be used. And these scribes, the formula for assigning a scribe, as you must be aware of, has to be 1 level lower than the class the student is appearing for. For example, a scribe for grade 10 exam, maximum he can be of or she can be of grade 9. Similarly, for class 12, he or she can be of grade 11, not more than that. Now, practice of internal assessment project, we have been told very clearly, uploading of the marks has to be done by 23/12/21. We have to strictly adhere to the timeline because no extension will be given. Details of that has been mentioned in academic circular number 51 by CBSE. And one more thing I missed over here, preserve the evidence, whether it's a hard copy or soft copy, preserve the evidence of your internal assessment. That will be very, very vital. Appointment of observers will be done by the city coordinators, and observers will be staying in the examination center till the uploading of the score has been done. So this is a very important point, that observers will be functioning on behalf of the board, and they will be ensuring that the exam is being conducted in a fair and smooth manner. Observers' role to be present in the center on all days of the exam, to ensure smooth conduct of the exam, and to act as observer only, not an inspector. Do not try to have that policeman-like attitude. I would strongly suggest, be an observer and report it to the board. That's the job, right? So many of the officials take up a wrong attitude, which should be avoided. Now, sequence of things, if we go by, admit cards to be sent to schools, printing of the admit cards and signature of the principal and the candidate, attendance sheet is sent to the center, OMR sheet will be printed by you in advance. Good quality A4 sheet is very important because these sheets will be scanned later on. And the second reason of using a good quality sheet is it should not spread the ink that is being used by the children. If the paper quality is bad, the ink will spread, and that will be again a unnecessary inconvenience for the children. Keep them ready before the exam starts. So OMR sheets will be ready before the exam starts. You can print it well in advance. On the day of the examination, the question paper will be downloaded and corrections to be done on the same day and uploading of the marks to be done on the same day. So this is a flow of sequence of things. So regarding the corrections, as I have already told, will be done on the same day. Any teacher can do the correction. It need not be that same subject teacher. You can appoint any teacher for the correction, whether it's a primary teacher, pre-primary teacher, PGT or PGT, does not matter. Marks uploaded on the same day. School with large number of students to keep multiple teachers to correct, complete the task. It has been given. I will show you in a later slide how many evaluators you are supposed to keep per OMR sheet. Observer to be present till the end.
Yeah.
Now, this is the admit card, which has been mentioned over here. I would like to point something over here, that is, you should carry only blue, royal blue ballpoint pen. But it has also been mentioned in the OMR sheet, you can use a black ballpoint pen as well. So blue or black ballpoint pen will be equally good. But, I would recommend personally, use a blue one. Use a blue one, because when you use a blue one, the contrast of things, because the OMR sheet is in black and white, and you're using a blue color, the child can easily check which ones he has attempted and which one he has not attempted. The black and white things can make things confusing for him. So use a blue one is a tip from my side that the school leaders can share with the children. It will help them to check which one they have attempted. The barred items, of course, not to be carried in. COVID protocol has to be followed. A small hand sanitizer should be taken along. Transparent pouch. Nothing should be carried with the children where the answer might be written. That is a hardboard, certain rulers where it has a wooden ruler where something is written at the back. These things are to be strictly avoided. Now, sample OMR sheet. Now here I would, stop the presentation and pull out a different OMR sheet. Give me a moment for that. And I don't think the annotation option is active, but still, I'll show it over here. So this is the OMR sheet, if you know very clearly. These will be pre-filled. The ones that I've left blank over here will be pre-filled by the board. So these need not be filled up by the children. They just need to check if the data is correct or incorrect. What they need to fill in is this box, the question paper code, which will be present on the question paper. And then the next few things is very clearly mentioned. This is the question number, the response option, and then a box to write the response option, which is star, and then a hashtag with the question number again. Now, what needs to be done is the child needs to first shade the pencil in bubble. And let me tell you, these bubbles are called pencil in bubbles. Pencil is not to be used. It will be UFM. So pen has to be used over here. And after shading the bubble, if the child is thoroughly convinced that this is the right answer, he or she can put, the option in the box. Now, here is a catch that I would like to share with you. While putting the thing in the box, advise the child not to fill up the entire box, by writing it in big alphabets. Try to divide the box mentally into two halves and stick to the left half and fill in your answer. Now, why I'm suggesting this? In case later on, the child needs to make a change, he or she can make a change by scribbling off the wrong answer, and still he has got some place on the right side to write the right answer. Otherwise, what happens? It has been clearly told that after you shade the box and you write the answer over here, no matter what you shade will not be considered. What is written in the box is going to be considered. So if you have a mistake in the box, then you do not have any place to rectify that. You will have only one option left, that is to shade this hashtag that you are not attempting that question. So to be on the safer side, divide the box mentally into two halves like an axis imaginary line and write on the left-hand side. But again, very clearly it has to be told to the children, do not write in microscopic handwriting. It can be big enough and still restricted to the half of the box, because I think the box has got enough space to be filled up. So after the child has filled all these things up, there's another thing that has been told over there: shade the bubbles which you are not attempting. Now let me tell you, the ones which you are not attempting, leave those blank. Why waste time? Try to shade those boxes or circles that you're not attempting, because if you're not writing in the box, if you're not attempting certain questions, it is left out anyway, right? It's considered you have not attempted. So just to prove that you have not attempted, do not waste that precious minutes shading those bubbles which are to be left out, right? So that is one. When the left bubble can be used, the bubble can only be used that I'm not attempting when you have already answered and shaded, you have filled in the box, and then you feel that it's a wrong answer. That time you shade the bubble and tell that please do not consider this answer. That's the only way, right? So for that also I gave a quick hack that restrict to the left-hand side, so you don't need that. So I think that is pretty clear what you need to do, and advise the children that when they are writing the question paper code in the beginning, at the same time to fill up this with their running handwriting. I confirm that all particulars given above are correct, and candidate's signature has to be put over here. They might just forget after the exam is over, right? So they might be in a hurry to fill up the bubbles. So it's better to do these things beforehand, and then not to touch these things. There is a box over here. This is particularly for evaluators and coordinators. The evaluator will be writing over here total correct answers. So out of 45 answers, let's say 32 are correct or 40 are correct. So 4, 0. And the same thing will be done by the coordinator. When the coordinator will be double checking, he or she will be putting the right answers over here. So this value and this value should be matching. If there is a mismatch, that paper should be re-evaluated. And then after the evaluation has been done, signature and identification number of the invigilator, the evaluator, the coordinator, and the observer is supposed to be put in over here. Where to get the identification number? It was very clearly mentioned in today's webinar. It will be downloaded from OSS. When you download the staff list from OSS, next to every teacher's name, there will be an unique identification number that should be used for these boxes. So any type of reporting that has to be done, those unique numbers are to be used. I'm again repeating, it will be found in OSS. So that's pretty much the OMR sheet. Now let me come back again to my presentation. So what are the very common errors? The common errors, one of the common errors already mentioned today by Sanyam Bharadwaj sir, the A and the D. Now when you're writing the A and the D, if the line, the standing line of the D is not proper, it looks like an A. So that has to be very clearly understood, that A and D may look very, very similar if the line is not drawn properly. I'll just very quickly show you what exactly I mean. I don't know if this is visible to you. I hope it is visible, right? So see, you cannot really make out if I have written an A or a D. So the line will matter. So in case you're writing a D, what I recommend is write in the same script that has been used in the OMR sheet. A standing line with a C or a reverse C. That is the best option. So tell your children not to use cursive, not to use any other handwriting, but the print alphabet that has been used in the OMR sheet. And again, not to write in the capital. Why not to write in the capital? It will occupy the entire box. Probably you will not have the scope of changing. Now, when I'm telling the scope of changing in the box, CBSE will again release a video. We are still not sure if CBSE is going to allow that scribbling off and writing in the other half. But assuming that it will be allowed, provided it's clearly legible, I am giving this suggestion. But in case later on we find a video where the writing or scribbling in the box is not allowed, that has to be informed to the children later on, right? So as of now, assuming the fact it will be allowed, we are going ahead. Internal assessment, I'm going to skip this because you're aware of that. What is the score of each internal assessment? Let's not go into this. periodic test, multiple assessment, portfolio which has to be digital. In case you are not aware of what a digital portfolio is, on my YouTube channel, Dr. Swarup Datta Education, you can find a video that I posted yesterday of how to create a digital portfolio. It's not about saving in a Google Drive. It's much more than that. And of course, student enrichment activities. Now, I'm using a few slides from today's webinar because, the video has been pulled out. And if someone wants to get a clarity on that, these slides can be of great help. So in these slides, the things that are mentioned today in the morning, question papers will be of two forms. One will be encrypted type. The other will be a normal printed type. Most of the centers will be sent encrypted type, while a few can be sent printed type as well. There will be two versions, the English and the Hindi version, right? So it's advised that you use the English version first, you print out. If need be, then print the Hindi version. If it's not required, you need not print it. Next, do not go for duplicate printing. Do not, let the paper go in and out, and it takes a lot of time. Go for one-sided printing was advised. And then there is a mock drill. A drill of this will be done on 15/11, which will be conducted by your respective regional offices. Then answer key will be provided by CBSE Online. This will be done 30 minutes after the exam is over. Number of correct answers will be uploaded online after evaluation by the center in the presence of observer. Evaluator can be of any subject which I mentioned earlier. There will be an observer appointed by the city coordinator. Now, city coordinator is a very key person, appointing the observers and the flying squad and the evaluators, right? Evaluators, in fact, will be appointed by the center, but the city coordinator will appoint the flying squad and the observer. In a room, 12 candidates will be allowed. Today in the morning, someone from the Gulf countries asked me this question. Do we have a supporting circular where 12 candidates has been mentioned? Now, this presentation from the board itself is a good evidence that you can have 12 candidates in a room. One invigilator will be appointed for each 12 candidates. Now, if you're using a bigger hall, can we use a bigger hall where 24 candidates can be seated? Yes, you can do that as well. And you need to have 2 invigilators in such a case. If I have 15 candidates, what to do? If I have a 13 candidates, what to do? Use 2 halls, 2 rooms, 12 in one and 1 in one, right? Otherwise, you can have 1 single room with 2 invigilators. Next. Time of the mock test will be intimated to you by the regional office through a mail or WhatsApp. You need to have full preparation before the exam and the material is procured. School will be requiring separate room for question paper. So well in advance, identify a room which will be used as a QP room or a strong room. Presence of observer is must receiving and printing of question paper. So the observer should not be late. The observer is going to be from a different school. Make sure that the observer reports well within time so that he can be a witness of the entire process. Changes in the question paper. This is again a very vital question that has been raised. In Marathi or certain languages, unseen passages are given. And it was seen that in sample question papers, the question number remains same for both the passages which are options. So for passage A also, answer number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and option B also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that gave a lot of confusion, rise to a lot of confusions. So right now, board has very clearly said that if there is an option between 2 unseen passages or questions, the answer numbers will be different. So if it's an option A, it will have 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's an option B, it will have 5, 6, 7, 8. So by changing the question numbers, you need not worry about which passage you are attempting. The question number will be different. Elucidating the OMR sheet, I have already explained this. I'm not going to go into detail. I have already explained this, right? I can skip this. Responsibility of city coordinator. Again, I'm not repeating to save time because these will be well, intimated to the city coordinators. They are aware of what they are doing, but appointing observer, flying squad, monitoring evaluation is the key duty. Apart from that, responsibility of city coordinator will be a list of teachers of local schools will be provided by RO. They will appoint observers. So all these appointing observers and flying squad will be done by the city coordinator, and records will be maintained by the city coordinator. Make sure you maintain the records of each and everything that you are doing. If you are asked, you should be able to produce things in black and white. Norms for observer. In a nutshell, very quickly, if I go and cover this slide, no relation to any candidate or no relation to the school should be there. The observer should be such that he or she should be beyond suspicion. Should not be a member of the same management from a different school. These are the things that needs to be avoided. It should not be changed. That my observer goes to your class school and your observer comes to my. These things should not happen. So any type of malpractice possibility is ruled out. Next is appointing and controlling the flying squad. One flying squad will be expected to visit 3 to 4 schools each day, and 2 certain flying squads will be appointed. They can come inside your school anytime and check what is happening, including the time when you are evaluating the papers. So these flying squad, teachers or principals or vice principals should be given proper access and entry and cooperated with. Responsibility of a deputy city coordinator will be assisting the city coordinator, and in the absence of the city coordinator, carry out the function of the city coordinator. CS function, it is everything, starting from the OMR printing, question paper, fair evaluation, and availability of the observer. So everything is under the CS. Principal of the school is the CS. Most often, or more often, the self-assessment centers have been given. So the principal will be responsible for everything that is happening in his or her premises. How to appoint evaluators and coordinators. The evaluators will be appointed from the same school. As it has been told, download the OS list, find out the unique identification number, and appoint the evaluator. And the evaluator will be from the same school, which is the center. Next, printing rooms. It should be a safe. Opening and closing will be done by the CS and observer. Make sure that even if you're leaving the room, it's properly locked. One more important thing to mention today, that avoid windows that opens in a public place to be opened during the printing of the question paper. Rule out anything that can leak the question paper because it is your responsibility. Record of each entry and exit will be maintained. Record of each entry and exit where? Into the room. Into the room where the question paper is being printed. Anyone who enters need to sign, put the name, date of entry and the date and time of entry, the time of exit should be clearly maintained. A logbook. This is very, very important. Now, printing, what are the things that you need? This is again very important. It has been suggested at least 2 computers or laptop. Now, let me suggest, please keep more than that. At least it's written. I would strongly advise, you never know when a device is going to malfunction, keep more laptops or desktops in that particular room. Uninterrupted power supply. This is especially for those areas which has a high power outage. Let me tell you, inverters will not be able to carry the load of printers. I have checked with every printer manufacturer. There is not a single printer type that can run on battery or inverter. It has to be a mini generator. So if need be, keep a mini generator handy in your school. If you don't have a generator, hire one. You know, these generators that are given for wedding and all these things, you can hire one of those generators. If you have a canopy generator, that's even better. But I know those canopy generators are pretty expensive. So at least hire a few, one generator where the printer machines can work. Next, internet facility. Now, if you're depending too much on your broadband supplier, with a lot of number of webinars that I do on a regular basis, I have very bad experience with all sorts of service providers. And that is the reason I always keep handy with me multiple devices. Maybe a geofile, maybe a mobile which can be, tethered. All these things are very, very important. And preferably have 2 internet connections. That will be the safest thing to do. If you already have a broadband, no harm in taking another connection only for the board exam. And if you cannot afford that, at least use a geofile. That will be a standby device. Next, 2 laser printers. And these laser printers are supposed to be fast printers. There are certain printers which are slow. So check with your printer manufacturer or supplier, you are taking a fast printer. Now, if you ask me for a brand, the one that I have been using is called Brother. It's Brother has a good output capacity, but it's not about Brother. You can use any brand. Canon, inkjet printers also are okay but use the fast printer. Stationary items like A4 size papers, cartridges of printers, photocopier, stapler pins, room-wise envelopes, sellotape, black marker, all these things are to be kept handy and in multiple numbers. Ink cartridge, again, that's very important. You never know what is the condition of your cartridge. If the cartridge all of a sudden malfunctions, you should be able to use another one. So keep spare cartridges. In addition to above, you should be ready to back up arrangements, like it has been told, that keep everything ready, assuming that an emergency is there. There are some questions coming in the chat box. I'll answer those after my session, right? So I've got another 14 minutes to go, I guess. So let me just sum up very quickly. So responsibilities of the deputy superintendent, it's supporting the superintendent, and every center is supposed to have one. So the principal can appoint the vice principal or a coordinator as a deputy CS. So every center needs to have one deputy CS. Assistant superintendent is the invigilator. He's supposed to take care of the OMR, the question paper, proper documentation, and ensure free and fair conduct of examination. Free and fair, what does it mean? Fair, of course, we know. Free means it should not be under any sort of pressure. They should not create an environment where the child is feeling some sort of tension in the mind. Let it be conducted in a non-threatening, free environment. Some invigilators start shouting in the room. That should be strongly avoided. Scale of appointment of a superintendent, I have already mentioned, for every 12 students, right? Next is evaluators. For 30 OMR sheets, one evaluator. So assuming that if you have 120 OMR sheets in your center, you're supposed to appoint 4. The timing for evaluation is given 1:45 p.m. to 4 p.m. That is 2 hours and 15 minutes. You may require more time because 4.5 minutes per OMR is the time given. Initially, it may take some more time, but later on, it will, as the expertise increases with more number of checking, the evaluators can check faster. So make sure that you intimate the postal department, which has been already told that after the evaluation, these OMR sheets will be posted. So that also has to be intimated to the postal department. Coordinators. The coordinators, for every 120 OMR, there will be one coordinator. And one coordinator will be checking 20% of the OMRs already checked by the evaluators. So if an evaluator has checked 100 OMR sheets, the coordinator will check 20 from those 100, 20 sheets, random sampling, some from the top, some from the middle, some from the bottom. So that is the random sampling process used, and that is the job of the coordinator. So this is the coordinator's ratio that is given. For 120, 1. Observer, for every 500, there will be one observer, and more than 500, 2 observers, and so on. Rough work, that sheet will have a facsimile stamp of the CS. It will be numbered, and assistant superintendent sign will be there on that, and then you issue the rough work, so that not any paper that can be used for rough work. So stamp of the CS, assistant super sign, and the number, serial number of that rough work. So that has to be maintained by the CS. Preferably make arrangement of this well in advance. Start from today if you can. CWSN, it has been told, whatever facilities were given earlier, that will continue. So they are going to get 30 minutes extra for their examination. How CBSE will check the paper? It will be everyone's responsibility. It is clearly said. CS is responsible, of course. Observer will be responsible. There are certain special features in the OMR which has been told, which can detect the, when it is being scanned, that whether the student has done it or some other pen has been used to shade the boxes. So schools have been advised to refrain from any sort of malpractice. The scanning can catch hold of, certain things like that. Pen, ink not matching, and so on. So these features are not revealed for security reasons, but please understand security features. If you tamper with those things, it will be directly a big step against you, leading to even disaffiliation of the school. Flying squads will be appointed to check randomly. And of course, data analytics. What does it mean? What is the record of your school in the last 3 years? If your record all of a sudden becomes good because you have been given the exam center and there's some sort of malpractice, the board has very clearly said that moderation of score will be done in such a way, and this term 1 marks can be reduced based on the historical data. So please do not involve in any sort of help that can be given to the children in the exam hall or things like that. I'm pretty sure the educators are ethical enough not to do it, but again, for some schools which refer to malpractice, it is a word of caution. Then artificial intelligence in evaluation of the result will be done. Comparison of term 1 and term 2 result will be done. So how the child performed in term 1, how in term 2, based on that the moderation can be done. Remember that. Result revision based on comparison, as it is said already, that if the comparison data is not matching with your present data, revision of the result will be done. CCTV in rooms are to be there, because if you need certain clippings of CCTV in case of a complaint from a child, you should have the CCTV in place. Exams will be cancelled if malpractice has been seen. UFM rules applicable for students, and invoking affiliation exam bylaws. That means de-affiliation process can start for those centers which are not following the norms strictly. How to download the OMR? OMR will be downloaded from the link in 3 slots. A schedule will be sent by the RO through WhatsApp. So city coordinators and the schools, they will be sent through WhatsApp, and in what slot they're supposed to download, it will be given. Facility will be available from 15/11, that is from Monday. So you can expect and check your mail from Monday, and keep checking those things periodically now. Facility for downloading additional OMR will also be available. The difference of additional OMR and the normal OMR will be additional OMRs will not be pre-filled. It will be blank, the roll number and all these things. So preferably these additional OMRs are not to be used, but in case there is an exigency, these things can be done after intimating the city coordinator or the regional office. A record will be maintained for additional OMR. This is very important. In case you are issuing an additional OMR to a child, record has to be maintained. Method of marking, it's again a very important thing. In case candidate observed that some wrong circle has been darkened and she wanted to change the option, correct option should be written in the box. So I have already covered this. So I'm not covering this in detail. Just remember the way I told the OMR has to be marked, it has to be marked in that way. Schedule of activities, entry inside the examination center, 9:45 a.m. it will start to 10:45 a.m. Start at the entry by candidates in examination room will be from 10:30 to 10:45. Last entry, 10:45. Checking of admit cards by assistant superintendents, 10:45 to 11 a.m. They will be made to seat, and if they have written QP codes, all these things, OMR question codes and all these things can be filled up between 10:45 to 11. And you have to also check they are not in possession of barred items. Opening of the question paper packet will be done at 11 a.m. and between 11 a.m. and 11:10 a.m. 10 minutes is enough to open the question paper, which carries only 12 sets. Distribution of the question paper will be from 11:10 to 11:30. And this is the reading time as well. So 20 minutes of reading time will be given instantly when the question paper is given to the child. His or her reading time starts. Then exam commences at 11:30. Return of unused question papers will be done instantly. Collection of question papers of children who are absent will be done at 11:30 itself. And by 11:45, the unused question papers are to be sealed and kept in the examination rooms by the center superintendent. It should be under lock and key and not leaked. Closing of the examination hall will be done 10 minutes before, so that no one runs out with the OMR. That was very clearly mentioned in the previous booklets as well. So though I have never seen this happening, but again, as it's mentioned in the CS booklet, I'm repeating that. Close the doors, and exam concludes as per the time allotted in the question paper, and additional time can be given to the child who requires, like CWSN, 30 minutes additional time. If the children from that room has to move out, tell them to move silently so that the one who is writing is not disturbed. Collection of the OMR in the CS room will be done at 1 p.m. So once the OMR is collected, exam is over and the children can go, right? Downloading of the answer key will be done at 1:30 after the children have left the room. Starting of the evaluation at 1:45 and evaluation should be over by 4 p.m. Uploading of marks between 4 p.m. to 4:30 in the link provided by CBSE. Sealing and dispatch of the OMR between 4:30 to 5 p.m. This is where the post office is required. Well in advance, intimate them, please wait for us so that we can come with the paper. No, if in case we are late, still wait for us. That has to be a request. Uploading picture of postal receipt. So that speed post that you do, that receipt has to be clicked with clarity and uploaded. And click in such a way that the tracking number is clearly visible. Please ensure person who is a near relative should not be a part of the examination, and if is at all a part of the exam, assign a different room to rule out any sort of bias. Conduct of practicals and projects have been already informed. Conduct before 23:12 and upload it by 23:12 positively. And practical conducted prior to the CBSE notification also will be valid. This is another very important point. Many schools have been asking, what if we have already conducted? If you've already conducted, wonderful. Upload the data before 23:12. That's it. Center change request. Today is 13th, so I think it's over now. It was active till yesterday midnight, and I think the needful has been done by the centers. And it has also been told that if it's a district assigned, they will try to see the city and assign the child a city nearest to its address. Rates and payments is very important. CBSE is hiking, giving a raise to the officials. More amount of money can be expected as a remuneration because you are simply staying from morning till evening, late evening. Another very important news that Bharadwaj sir shared today was a method of payment where you need not wait long. It will be instantly credited to your account. We really need to wait and see, because that has been one problem area for most centers. Paisa nahi milta hai, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, people pulling out their hairs. So now it has been told, flash, it will come to your account, like kaun banega crorepati. Turant aapka account mein gaya. So we have to wait and see if it really happens or not. So IPS system, right? Packing of the OMR between 2 pulp boards with a Shutli waterproof jacket, and then blue cloth for 10th and pink cloth for 12th. That has to be maintained. Seating arrangement, already told, I'm not covering this. One more important thing, everyone will face the same direction. This is a COVID protocol. If children are facing the blackboard or whiteboard, the invigilator is going to sit at the back and face the blackboard only, so that they do not come face to face. And the chair that has been used on the previous day is not to be used on the other day. So rotate the number of chairs. Dispatch of OMR, postal service will be used. Same day dispatch is mandatory. Receipt to be uploaded on the link. Evaluation of OMR, I have already talked about that. It will be evaluated by the school first, and then regional office will be scanning it. So it's not only the school evaluator, the regional office will also be scanning it. After 30 minutes of completion of exam, school will be allowed to download the answer key, and answer key will be different for different question sets. So based on that, use the answer key so that the order is maintained, right? And CS will hand over the parcel of OMR to the observer and evaluators. So evaluation will be from the same school where the examination is being conducted. If another school is coming to your school, you need not keep that school's teacher as an evaluator. It will be your school only. Thereafter, evaluation will be done by the evaluators who could be of any subject. So that has also been mentioned. School computer teacher will upload the number of correct answers on the student's link. Now, this is already covered. I'm not going to cover this. Timing has also been mentioned. So all these things have been already talked about earlier. In case of physical collection of papers from the bank, there are strips marked 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those strips have to be used to seal the bag after you take out the question paper. So strip number 1, 2, and so on. If you see those, you will understand. Follow the sequence. Bell ringing schedule. It will come to you in detail. I'm not reading this, but a long bell, a single bell, all these things, please adhere to it. It will be given to you in printing. Print it on your school wall and use it. So the room has been told to be kept in a safe place. Camera has to be there. Recording. See, one more point is mentioned over here. It should have a provision of camera with recording facility, but live telecast of the camera should not be visible on any monitor. It should not be a CCTV. A CCTV, if it is there in the room of question paper printing, please stop the CCTV if it has a monitor somewhere else. So please do not use it. And it has been also told, if in case you do not have certain recording devices like a handycam, do not use it. No recording is, that's also good, but do not use a CCTV where the monitor is somewhere else. Lock and key and all these things are very simple things. Outside people not to be allowed. If you're leaving the room, lock it. These are simple things you need to understand and keep. What will be sent now? All these things, guidelines, draft letters, all these things will come to your login IDs, right? Duty of computer teacher will be downloading OMR, downloading question paper, printing question paper, and uploading the correct number, uploading the number of correct answers in the sheet. Observer duties I'm not covering now. All these things have been done. It has also been told result will be declared based on the notification issued by CBSE after conduct of term 1. So based on the notification, the marks will be given. No student will be placed in pass or compartment. Final result will be declared after April. So right now, the schools or the children will be intimated about what is the score that they got in this MCQ exam. If you have any query, there was a spelling mistake in the previous email ID that was shared in the board by the board today. The actual spelling is this: QUERY.TERM1 exam@cbsesiksha.in. I'll just take another 2 to 3 minutes to very quickly sum up very few important things. This division of question paper time management I already shared with you. Now regarding examination stress, few things please use and follow it. One is, do not set very high expectation for your children. The expectation really troubles them. Advise the parents, the relatives, the friendly neighborhood to tell that you're going to get a good marks, 95% aayega ki nahi, 98 aayega, your cousin got 99, how much you're getting. All these rubbish questions should be ruled out. This is something that creates a lot of pressure. So parents should be advised, do not pressurize your children by all these wrong expectations. Let the child perform the best as per his or her capacity. No preparation is complete. So tell the children, if you feel you're not prepared, that's good enough. Congratulations, you're human. Only computers can be 100% prepared. Humans cannot be, right? So if you feel it's not fully prepared, you have still did some more revisions, it's okay. It's okay to go to the examination hall with that mindset. High expectation from others, I told you, rule that out. Even the teacher should not do that. You need to be the district topper. You need to be the state topper. Please cut down that type of statement. The children need to be made aware of their, capacity. What is the horsepower of engine that they have inside? What speed they can cover. Just because you have not driven the car fast enough doesn't mean the car cannot run faster. You've been driving at 45 kilometers per hour, but your car has a capacity of 120 kilometers or 140 kilometers per hour. So every child needs to be made aware of that you are capable of doing much more than you think. So think you can do better. Low motivation is a very common thing. End of fuel, give some fuel. A lot of sessions can be arranged. In fact, I have been busy with a lot of motivation sessions that the schools have requested me to take for their children. Yesterday, I took a session in Nepal. So there were around 300 children. For them, I took only a motivation session that really helped them. Then advise the children to take short breaks in between study hours, on and off, and during the breaks, not to think about study, think about any nonsense, doesn't matter. Take the brain to a switch mode. Get enough sleep. That's one of the mistakes the children do. The MCQ, the brain needs to be very, very functional and prompt. So a machine cannot function properly if you make it overwork. 8 hours of sleep is mandatory. This is, I'm telling as a doctor, right? Not as an educator. 7 hours of sleep in the night and 1 hour of afternoon nap will be of great help. So 7 plus 1 is good enough. Teenagers have a hormone in the body which makes them sleep more than others. That hormone, if it is compromised, the performance of the body diminishes. So please make sure they're getting enough sleep. Food has to be very balanced. A lot of fluid or liquid intake has to happen, but cut down that fruit juice, which tells on the packet fresh and healthy. 6 months ago, juice cannot be fresh. So make sure that they're drinking a lot of water and homemade juices. Cut down spicy food. Cut down the food that have negative energy level. negative energy food. 5 foods have been identified by our ancient rishis: onion, garlic, brinjals, green chilies, asafoetida, hing. Cut those things down. It pulls down the energy level. Have high energy food like sprouts, live food, sprout. It really helps you. Make sure the children have someone to talk to. The ones who are absolutely silent right now need to be paid special attention and brought to a talking term with someone, whoever the child trusts. Listen to some good quality music, Mozart, Beethoven. If not that, at least something soft, not something very hard rock type. And of course, each day spend some time going outside, exercise. And the last but not the least, meditation. Meditation for 10 to 15 minutes every day will really make the brain perform at its best. There are different types of meditation. I'll give you one single clue how to go for a meditation. In meditation, the problem is more people focus on what they should think. I should think about God. I should not think about that. Meditation is not about resistance. Meditation is all about acceptance. So in meditation, you have to have a simple formula. Do not create a thought. Do not reject a thought. Do not follow a thought. Let the thought come and go like a river. You just be a silent observer. This needs practice. Initially, you will follow a thought. You will try to create a thought. But with practice, it will work. And brain will function to the optimum or maximum with meditation. So this is what is my suggestion. It even reduces the stress level. So with that, I come to the end of my presentation. I slightly exceeded my allotted time. I'm sorry for that, but I thought these few points need to be mentioned as well. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Shahjahan sir.
Hello.
Sir,
Yes.
Shahjahan sir, 1
Yes,
second.
sir.
Actually,
Yes.
Shahjahan sir, 1 second, sir.
Yes.
Sir, actually, there was a message from one Mr. Khan that some slides, there is some audio issue. I believe that is from his side. For all the participants, this YouTube link is shared to this chat. Please watch it. Sir, please continue.
Yes. Shall I?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dr. Swarup Datta, apologize for it means giving your name wrongly at the beginning. It will get irritated, I think.
No, not at all. It was nice to hear the name.
And the other things are really so wonderful. And I don't know where we are or where we were. You have taken us to a new world, really. You have given everyone, you have given tips to students, you have given instruction to teachers, you have given instruction to center superintendent. You have done for everyone. You covered everyone.
Shahjahan sir.
Yeah.
But Shahjahan sir, when I called Swarup Datta sir and I told today you have to take a session on CBSE 10th and 12th, he said, Madam, morning Sayam Bardwaj sir will be taking. But I said, sir, you proceed. But I have seen in lot of classes, lot of sessions, he will have many things to add up to. And I know that his perception of presenting will be totally different, attending to the teachers, to the students, to the parents, everyone he has touched with the important slides. Those who have missed it thinking that it will be a usual session what sir has selling, I think it was a great loss, isn't it, sir? It was a wonderful session. And yes,
and timely.
Of course,
wonderfully told, simple way you have expressed, everyone could understand, and it was totally we felt so at home with you. So continue,
so
sir. Shahjahan, sir, you can continue.
Anyhow, however, that's why I said that I have I don't know how to thank you because you did in an excellent way. The presentation is excellent. Whatever it may be, now we got a clear picture. Your duties and responsibilities you are given. And now we got a clear picture in front of us, all of us. And those who are having doubts and everything, that they can go through our YouTube channel that we have already given. They can use that facility. Thank you very much for your excellent presentation, sir. We were not expecting this much. This is an authorized tone, your voice and your command, just like a proper authority in this one. Really appreciate. Anyhow, now the time limit is there that if anybody got some doubt, we can have, I think, about 10 minutes is left. Now, if anybody wanted to ask any doubt, you can do right now.
Yeah, Madam Ganga Devi, she has
Yes, please.
Ganga Devi. Madam, you can unmute and ask. Madam Ganga Devi.
Anyone can ask from any topic, because if you ask stress, If you ask value, if you ask anything related to CBSE or outside. And one more thing which we have to think about when we talk about Swaroop sir, I think his career book, right, sir? It's the
Best
record,
careers book.
yeah, careers book, which I think you should suggest for every student and teacher and parent to read through. And he takes sessions on that also. So anybody wants, please make use of his expertise. He's very good in all these.
I would also like to request, I have a YouTube channel.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Education.
Sir,
Can you
Wherever,
please type it, sir? If you have anything like that, so that you can announce it and also type it, so everybody will take it.
yeah, sure.
That you have in between that you have mentioned that mahasahodaya.com.
Yes, yes.
You
Do
can
you want
visit at
to?
the end of the session. You can give them the instructions, sir.
Yeah, just give me a moment. I'll just show them the website itself.
Right.
So you do want to know some of the principles? Tell me. We have watched Swaroop sirs for some doubt clearance sessions.
Okay. Yeah, is my screen visible?
No, sir.
No, sir.
But if there's answer, no problem. It's okay.
I think Sreesan has to. Yeah, sir. Now I think.
It's visible, right?
Yeah, yeah. Now it's visible, sir.
Yeah, let's see. Mahasahodaya.com.
Yes.
You click this website, it will open up the site like this, where all the heads of Maharashtra Sahodaya are there. And then you have a CBSE drop down over here. You click on this, then MCQ for class 10, MCQ for class 12. So for example, I'm going to class 10. I click on this. It will open up the subjects over here. For example, maths, physics, chemistry, bio, social, English, Hindi, Marathi. We couldn't upload other languages, but because it's from Maharashtra, we have uploaded these two languages. So main papers like, let's say, chemistry or physics or maths, let's say go to real numbers. The moment you click on real numbers, you will have MCQ options like this. The sum of exponent of prime factor. You choose any random answer and you go for show answer. You will see that it's
Great.
Apart from this, you have exam for 12, 11 and 9th has not been uploaded yet. We'll do it. There are some download PDF files also. So these PDF files also have a lot of questions in that. In fact, these questions were developed by Maharashtra Sahodaya schools. Apart from that, Kendriya Vidyalaya or any other Sahodaya, whatever work they have done, we have collated that work and put it up over there as well. So that people all the things in one single place.
Yes.
Talking about my YouTube channel, I will also share that. You can just type Dr. Swaroop Datta Education in Google and you will get the YouTube channel, like this is.
Okay.
So you can go to the YouTube channel and you can go into the YouTube channel and subscribe it. Any server that is released by CBSE that is uploaded on the YouTube channel within few days. Sorry, let me just pause this. Yeah. So now these two things I have shared with you. And I'll also put in the, in the chat box, what they need to type in Google. They can copy it and do it. I'm just not sharing the link right now.
Yeah, simply type sir's name, it automatically comes.
Yeah, Dr. Swaroop Datta Education, you type, it will automatically come. Go to the
right.
You will get it.
And we will help. We will help, and we will. Transmit again. No problem.
Also,
We can do. Right. Now, I think there is no response, no questions from.
One question was one person has asked if a child is caught copying, what will be the step taken?
UFM has clearly mentioned what are the different levels of UFM: level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. This you can find easily in the Center Superintendent or Observer Handbook that was given in the last year. Last year there was no exam. You take those books out and it will very clearly tell what is the consequence of what type of UFM. But right now, the main UFM will be trying to shade with pencil. Please do not allow that.
One more question was asked is if there are 2 correct answers and if the one question is marked as correct, whether the child will be given marks.
2 correct answers. No, I didn't get that question.
That won't be possible.
No, I think what the person wanted to ask is, in case the child has shaded B as well as C. So what to do in that case? In such a case, whatever is written in the box, that will be final. That is to be considered. And the second thing which most people ask is, in case 20 out of 25 questions is to be attempted and a child attempts all 25, what will happen? This is a very common question that I have got. So will it be the first 20 that will be considered or the best 20 that will be considered? Now, except in one sample paper, that is in science. In science sample question paper, it has been clearly mentioned that the first attempted questions will be considered. That means if you're attempting 25 and 20 was supposed to be attempted, the first 20 will be checked, remaining 5 will not be checked. So this has to be told to the children. Do not try to, attempt all the questions and be sure that only the best ones will be checked.
Yeah.
Bhavik sir, what
If there is no correct answer found in option, what will be done?
It's a very rare chance that no correct option is found. That means the question set is wrong. Brought into the note of the, the invigilator and the center superintendent and the regional office, and they will be needful. So the child, even if he gives a wrong answer in that question where there is no answer is the right one, the board normally what they do is they give the credit to the student.
I think Bhavik sir, you can ask.
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
There is one clarity which I got from the presentation today. In admit card, it was mentioned that only blue and royal blue ballpoint pen to be used.
True.
Whereas in the OMR circular, it has been written blue as well as black. I think both the pens can be used.
Absolutely.
Fine. And in the OMR circular, first the child answers, darkens the circle. Then he writes the correct answer in the box. After that, if the child feels that he would like to skip the question, and again, if he darkens, will it be considered as a skipped question? Because that thing is not mentioned in the OMR circular.
If the child darkens what? The options or the hashtag?
No, hashtag. I mean to say out adjacent to the box.
Moment the hashtag is darkened, that question will not be evaluated.
Great.
It's to be skipped.
Fine. And sir, when the evaluation process is done by the evaluators, along with the subject teacher as well as any teacher, will the camera be needed over there where the...
Yes, it has to be done under CCTV. The reason is the examination is over. Now there is no, something that is very confidential. Children have already appeared, but the process of evaluation should be closely monitored.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Ajay sir, one
Okay.
more hand.
Now we are at the last stage now. Some announcement is there. I would like to do some announcement before leaving.
Shahjahan sir, one
The
second.
announcement is on 20th of November. We have a session, Achieving Foundational Literacy and Numeracy. That is the basic, the foundational course as per the NEP. That's very important, and make use of it. And education, that's very important thing. Mrs. Saraswati Ramamurthy, she is conducting, she's the resource person, and she's having that MS in child development and family, this one, and MS in special education. And she's from that Food University, USA, and is CE expert. That she is the resource person for us. And Dr. Deepali Mirza, that means our CEIR mentor, that she's an education consultant, and she's the total quality management mentor. She is she will be the moderator for that session on 20th of November. That is next Saturday. And followed 21st of November, it means the very next day, that we have that Veda handwriting that on class is there. This is named as Refresh the Lost Art of Handwriting. That's on Sunday, the 21st, Dr. Treason, that he will conduct this class, and we are getting appreciation from every corner of India and abroad for this handwriting success. Everyone appreciating this, and I appreciate Dr. Treason also in this occasion, because we made a remarkable achievement in that one. And that's how it will take place at 10:30 a.m. on 21st. It's a certificate, those who are participating fully, and they will get certificate. These are the notifications that I would like to make. And here once again, please, Treason, please proceed.
Yeah, sir, actually there one madam is waiting for a long time. If you allow, I think Anjali Gandhi can ask the question. Sir, can we take the last question, Shahjahan sir? We have 3 minutes time.
You wanted to extend the time?
Sir, we have 3 more minutes, I believe.
Okay. Yes, now it is exactly 6 o'clock. No problem.
Waiting for a long time. That's the reason I thought.
Okay. Proceed.
Madam Anjali, please make your question very short, please. Hello.
Yes, Anjali ma'am. Anjali Gandhi, please proceed.
Oh, I think there is some problem. Sir, I will make one small announcement today. Dr. Swarup sir also, mentioned about the meditation. My dear educators, is very important. We are doing and we are experiencing. Many of our people every day, 15 minutes we are spending. Sunday we are spending 30 minutes. Sunday is holiday. We are spending 30 minutes. Please do attend this session tomorrow. If possible, on every day 15 minutes. Tomorrow Sunday, this 30-minute session, please do attend it. You can use the same link and you try to attend regularly on some 15 to 20 days, you will find a lot of changes within yourself. That actually reflects outside. So please do attend.
A lot of people using, most of our members are using that one to refresh their mind and soul. That's good for their health.
Very true, very true.
Right.
So the feedback form will be issued, and this time onwards we are making a small charge. For the certificate. So please cooperate with us. And I think Deepa ma'am, you can make the last vote of thanks and conclude the session.
Thank you on behalf of CEIR and all the people present here. Swarup sir, I have known you, attended your sessions, I've been within. So it was a wonderful day that you have empowered each and every one with a lot of your experience sharing, and it was a complete package. Thank you for being with us, taking out your hectic schedule. We will catch hold of you for many more sessions to come whenever we have.
Sure.
And this is being attended by people from Singapore, from Middle East, from all over India. So everyone had the same opinion. There are chat box full of appreciation. So once again, a heart full of love and thanks for whatever you have done for us today. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right, sir.